travel friends, if you're a first-time solo traveler or if you're just starting to travel alone without your family, you might be wondering, what are hostels like? In this video, I'm sharing 12 things you should know before going to stay in a hostel. Now, I'm hoping that this video answers some questions you might have or alleviates some concerns that you might have about going to a hostel for the first time, but if you still have a question, please let me know in the comments below and I'll address it directly. And for my hostel traveling friends out there, let me know, what are your tips for first-time hostel travelers? Let's share and help each other out. Alright, here are 12 things you need to know before traveling to a hostel for the first time. Number 1, hostels are a super affordable way of travel, and it's for a reason. They're able to keep their costs down and therefore ask for a lower price with two things. First of all, by cleaning less often so your room doesn't get cleaned every day. And secondly, by squeezing a lot of people into less space than traditional hotels or Airbnbs. Number 2, you'll see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s, a lot of young adults traveling in the hostels because it's such an affordable way to travel. But people of all ages stay in hostels. So in my last trip to Europe, I stayed with somebody who's 40 years old in my room, somebody who's 50, definitely in a wide range of ages. Number 3, you're sharing a space with 4, 6, 10, or sometimes even more people. The options for how many people per room you have will vary by the hostel, but typically the rule of thumb is the more people you have in a room, the less it's gonna cost. Something to think about if you're not sure if you'll like hostels or not, or if when you were a kid, did you go to summer camp, or maybe when you were in college, did you live in a college dorm? What did you think about that experience? Personally, I loved summer camp. I'm an extrovert, and I was a resident advisor for 4 years in college, so it's not really a problem for me, but that might depend on your preferences. And piggybacking off of that, number 4, most rooms with more than 4 people are going to have bunk beds, so if that's going to be a problem, that's something to consider. Number 5, most hostels are co-eds. Some hostels have an option of having a women only or men only, although the girls only option is more common just because of privacy, but that might not always be an option, so be sure to double check what you're signing up for. Number 6, because you're sharing a room, you're also sharing a bathroom and shower spaces. Some hostels have the option of having a private bathroom that you share with just your room. Other hostels have a common bathroom on the floor that you share with all the other people on the floor. So bring flip-flops. Number 7, many hostels have a single room option. So if you're really excited about the social component of a hostel, but you're worried about security or privacy, that's definitely an option, although it will cost you a bit more. And speaking of security, number 8, most hostels have a locker in the room that you can use to store your suitcase in, but not all of them are going to be providing locks for you, so be sure that you bring a lock or padlock with you on your travels. Number 9, much like hotels, the type of hostel, the quality you get, and the amenities included are going to vary greatly depending on the type of hostel that it is. Some of the nicer hostels I've stayed at have a pool or a gym or even a bar, which is super cool. Shout out to Wombats. Most hostels have breakfast that may be free, or you might have to pay like 4 or 5 euros to get it. Your hostel may or may not have laundry facilities, and how you do laundry, whether it's an actual washing machine that you use or you give your clothes to the front desk to do, that'll also depend on the hostel. And then other things like hair dryers, locks, or towels may or may not be available for rent. Hostelworld.com is a really great place to do your research. It'll list all the amenities for every hostel that you're comparing, and you can get a sense of what the hostel is like based on the reviews. So for example, if you're planning on staying somewhere with a name like Little Havana Party Hostel, don't be too surprised when the front desk staff starts handing out shots for free at 5 p.m. Speaking of which, you can definitely get a sense of if your hostel is rowdy or more on the quiet side from those hostelworld.com reviews. Number 10, unlike hotels, most hostels don't provide towels or soap, so be sure to bring your own. Number 11, also unlike hotels, your room doesn't get cleaned every day. In fact, most of the time when you walk into a hostel, you'll actually find that your linens are folded nicely on top of your mattress because they expect you to make your own mattress. Now, this might be a little shocking at first, but keep in mind that this is one of the ways that they keep costs down so that people like you and I can travel more and not break the bank. And finally, number 12, hostels are a great way to meet people, and they often have activities. For example, they might have a walking tour, or they have a game night, or they have some sort of bar activity if they have a bar. So be sure to check around in the lobby if they have some sort of schedule of events, or just ask your front desk person what they recommend to do. Alright guys, those are 12 things you need to know as a beginner traveling to a hostel for the first time. Do you have any questions? If you do, let me know in the comments below so I can answer them directly, because I want to help make traveling easier for you. And if you're a travel vet, if you've stayed at tons of hostels, what are some tips that you might have for first-time hostel stayers? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you have a favorite hostel that you stayed at so I can bookmark it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for more videos like this, especially if you're trying to make travel a bigger part of your life, because that's something I'm working on and I think we can do it together. See ya.